Hello, and welcome to another another episode, that's the word, of Data Girl Informs. I'm very happy to have Angelica Clidas with me today to talk about move over data and AI literacy. What we need is critical thinking. I'm really happy to have you, Angelica, not only because we've known each other for a while and been through a few career changes together, but also because you're not only a digital literacy, data literacy expert, but you're also an educator and mother. So it really has the full spectrum of kind of person that's interested in Data Girl. So really, thank you for taking your time to be with us today.
Well, you're most welcome. It's lovely to be with you again on stage and see you again. Yeah, great. Thank you.
So I don't know if you want to say something. We have a very obvious code there. So I don't know if you want to tell everyone why that's there.
Yeah, well, the QR code is usual now as we speak, actually, but you have to fill in your name and your email address to be able to win uh, the book Data Literacy in Practice that I have written 1 year ago. And this is the book, and you will receive, well, it's unfortunately not that clear because of the blur. It's the book Data Literacy in Practice that I have written with Kevin Hannigan, one of my best friends from the States. And it's about being data literate in a world full with information.
Yeah, it's really great. I obviously have the book. I've read it, and there's just tons of information. I think you can't really miss anything in there. I think it gives the whole spectrum. So thank you for offering that. Um, I'll jump right into the questions. Critical thinking. Why is it so important, especially for the youth of today?
Um, for today's youth, I think it's very important to think about several skills, several elements um, that we have to encounter with. That's the information overload that we have in our world. You know, it's over flooded with information, news, advertisements, the phone, the TikTok movies, and everything. And we have to be critical in the things that we do. And by learning our youth to work with the elements that are around the topic of critical thinking, it helps us to get through this overload of information and distinguish what is true, what is not true, or and decide what information is reliable and what might be misleading or completely false. And that's, I think, what we need to achieve. I hear a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
extremely.
noise, echo sometimes.
I hear you fine. I don't know if the viewers are having some issues. You can let us know in the chats. It is, I don't know. There's a lot of wind outside today, so it might be my fault that
It's
it's,
okay.
yeah.
Don't worry about it. So yeah, I think
Uh,
why critical thinking is such an amazing, important topic is that we have to deal with that information overload, but also we have to learn how to solve our problems. We need to teach our children about that. We have taught it ourselves, right? We have to also navigate through the social issues that can occur in the paths of children, but also when they are a little bit older and trying to get ready for their careers, we need to help them with critical thinking and problem solving to prep them for their future careers. And of course, at the end, they will personally grow and have a good, effective communication as well in place.
Yeah, I think it's as you mentioned, a big problem that there's a lot of, really a lot of information, a lot of data out there. And they really have to understand, filter through and understand what's relevant, what's true, which kind of leads me to the next point. How does that differ from data and AI literacy?
Well, I think critical, to begin first, does it differ? AI literacy, visual literacy, data literacy? Should we call it AI literacy or visual literacy? I don't think so. Everything is surrounded by the concept of data, and data is at the core, at the heart of everything. And around that, we have the ball that is called critical thinking. Because in all elements, if we use visuals, if we use data, if we use AI, we need to be able to distinguish things by being critical and ask critical questions. And it helps you to analyze and understand the world around you.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. There's a lot of names for it. I actually heard a new one today, technical literacy. And there's actually a
Digital
lot
literacy.
of, yeah, digital, yeah, it can,
Yeah,
I think it confuses people, definitely. And there's some,
I think so too.
yeah.
And again, Angelina, I think you agree with me that the words as digital literacy, visual literacy, AI literacy, and data literacy, I think everything can be hooked on the form of data literacy. First of all, and the fact is that we have to learn how to work with the things that are around us when it comes to Gen AI or the other elements. I don't think my heart is good enough to follow the hype of naming it again AI literacy. I don't think so. The skill set remains the same.
And how is critical thinking? How does it? No, it's true. I mean, yeah, I was actually doing some searching on keywords, looking for what people are actually looking for. I was interested, what words are the masses using this morning, and no one's looking for AI literacy on Google, for example. People aren't looking for that. And because I think that's more experts that talk about that, which goes back to the AI and critical thinking. So people understand what's AI. They want to understand, how does AI think? How will AI influence me? And so how has critical thinking, in your opinion, become more important in the age of this massive boom in Gen AI, especially?
I think the look. I use data and Gen AI on a daily basis in my work. It makes tasks simpler. It helps me to form my thoughts. It creates an image based on the prompt engineering that I do. Even my best friend, Yves Mulders, he wrote a book about it, about Gen AI and the different elements that are there for videos, for music, for text, you name it. It's all there. We just have to be so careful and so at ease to work with AI, because we have to sit back, look at what we see and what we work with in order to make the right decisions. So therefore we need to be critical, but also ask questions and read the things or look at the things that are produced. Because if we don't,
yeah. I mean, I'm at the beginning, you're an educator and a mother. So you're seeing our youth obviously from two different directions, two different sides. What kind of skills do you, in general, of course, speaking, do you see the youth have those that are helping naturally as being digital natives? And which ones do you see that there's more help needed? Just I would say, on a generally speaking, regarding to this critical thinking and AI data.
In general, I think when it comes to critical thinking again, if we foster that, I think it's crucial for their development as a person, but also their continuous learning path. Every school here in the Netherlands is changing into giving customized, feasible educational elements to people that are connected to a school for a lifelong, so that people continuously learn. So therefore, we have to encourage them to create that environment for our children where they feel safe and comfortable in asking questions. And we need to help them to develop their curiosity, right, and their creativity, and help them to challenge themselves and explore questions and answers by themselves. And as a parent, as a mother of three, and a beautiful grandchild of 2 years old, um, it's best to ask open questions to them to stimulate them to think.
So that's the main practical strategy. It's just questions. And it seems pretty
Now, it's not only
straightforward.
questioning. It's
Yeah.
not only that, because I believe in the critical thinking concept. There are many things like problem solving, creativity. Uh, Learn how to ask questions, and by all means, don't be too shy to ask questions, but also take a look at the information and avoid and identify bias, and also look back and reflect, right? Because we have to learn from the mistakes
Yeah.
that we made, or the things that we did well, but maybe we can do them even a little bit better. So there are many, many, many elements involved in the critical thinking concept. And we just have to help them with that and form our strategy. We came here in this level in our life because we were not at peace in not learning. We came here because we have learned a lot, and we have that vision to continuously learn.
Yeah. No, no, I think what you said is actually key. All those skills that you mentioned, they actually come from learning to question things. And as parents and educators, obviously educators, that's your thing, right? Maybe parents will have to practice that some. Just ask questions, because you first you want to tell them, you want to teach them, you want to show them, but actually it's a lot more powerful just to ask them, and maybe guide them in their thinking process, right? Just question everything, kind of.
And we do so when you were a little child. When your child was 2 years old, or 3 years old, or four, she probably said, "Why, mama? Why should I do that? Or why do we do this? Or why? And then suddenly we stop with asking the why question. Because
Yeah.
we are formed at school, we have to raise our hand and do other things, and then we think, oh, leave it, and then we go, and then we have this digital world which is overwhelming big. And then now we have to learn them to ask questions again. We have to foster that from two
Yeah.
years old until the age that we are in now.
That is such a good point. That is really, and I just was speaking to someone about that last week, that was teaching her children from a young age always to ask why about everything on the internet. Uh, why is does the game have a certain rating? Why is only certain age groups should? Why is the private? Why does the app need my location? Why is that person asking my age? Why is this is obviously for older? Why is AI coming up with this answer? That's actually, if we just implant that question
Yeah,
into
that,
every
that needs to
encounter, that
be,
would make a
yeah,
big difference.
that needs to be, it needs to be more in our core, in our DNA, to ask that question, why? We do so in our work, right? I work as a consultant as well for companies. I am a teacher. And then I have to teach my students and the people that I work with, but you have to ask questions, guys. Why? And what if the seven W questions are so extremely important in our business, and we forgot how to ask them because we suddenly stopped at an age of 6, 7 years old when we started learning? And actually, I think the educators of today should always help the children to understand and ask critical questions.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And I feel like it's getting more and more, the more complex the digital world becomes, the more we have to kind of simplify our thinking, right? Which I would say the average, you have really, as you said, it's perfect. Get back the questions, every little thing, be empowered as well. Because what you were describing is, the teachers who say you have to raise your hand. You should see it in southern Italy. My poor, very independent-minded daughters having some difficulty, but we're looking for a balance. But yeah, you need to be empowered and question power as well, because even with, young youth children, who the person can easily show authority online, and you have to question: is this real authority? Is this something I can trust? Is I love Gen AI outputs that always give the same kind of person, like, why? Why doesn't this, or in the case of Google, where they have diversity to the extreme, really to ask the question, why? What does it say about not only the tool, about our society that's creating, right? I mean, it's very empowering, just to ask questions about everything. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
And then
It's so simple.
it's so simple, but then when the children are 6 and they are in a classroom, if they have to have this program, and when they start asking questions, yeah, but why, and why should I do this? Where is it for? What is it for? Why do I need to know those things? The teacher thinks, okay, now you have to stop asking questions. Okay, but
Yeah.
why? Give answers. Let them
Yeah.
grow into the state of mind that they can work on their critical thinking, and that they at the end can demonstrate their skill set, right? We as
Mhm.
parents and as
Yeah.
teachers, educators,
I
mothers,
mean,
we
yeah,
have,
that's actually,
sorry.
yeah, that's true. I mean, that's one reason why the Data Girl videos are so short. They're in the meantime, 1.5 minutes, because they're really just supposed to trigger thoughts, questions, discussions, exactly to really push exactly this way of thinking. Yeah, that's really perfect. Do you have some specific examples? Again, your experience is so it fits so well to the Data Girl universe, where you saw some critical thinking skills in a young person, where you were just like, wow, that really made a difference in a digital environment.
Yeah, well, of course, going through the internet and always trying to keep up with new innovative things, and looking at my own children. For example, my son Nikai, he is almost 22 now, and he started studying game development. Unfortunately, he did not finish the study 2 years, and then he did not find it was his passion. But in his second year, he has built an amazing web shop where people could buy as an assignment, right? And people could buy beer and cheese, the combination. And what he wanted to achieve was actually display special beers with special matching cheeses, well, from all over the
Wow.
world. And his approach was really amazing. And he not only tasting the several kinds of beer, he loves beer, um, but also combining it and tasting it with the variety of cheeses that he bought in a big supermarket, and it and then by combining his this skill set, the technical knowledge, problem solving skills, the creativity, um, he made actually a very nice web shop, and he got a very high grade. So that was a perfect combination of creativity, critical thinking, technical problem skills, and just look at the whole concept, right? And well, his teacher, he was very proud of him, and he thought he was not only developing a great product, but also he was a very good salesperson as well. He could sell his story very well. Another one that I found, and there are two that stand out for me. I love the fact that Red Bull is encouraging youngsters to help they help youngsters to give them a podium for their innovations, right? And there is this girl, Bonnie from she developed a social platform for Lens Socionational that encourages women in poorer countries to work with photography, and their goal is actually to work in such an environment with an opinion, and she helps them to raise money. And I will put the website lensational.org, and it's a very, very nice platform. And she already connected 600. Oh, I can't post it.
Oh.
Oh.
No, we've been having some problems with with the chat. I don't know. Yeah.
I will try it, and even I will put it under the notes when I look the video again when it's recorded. But she already worked with more than 600 people. She's a youngster, and she also was mentioned in the Forbes with entrepreneurs under 30. She did so well. And this guy, 20 years old from Turkey, Saver is his name. He wanted to help his brother because he saw that his brother interacted with the smartphone in a very good way, not being able to speak thoroughly because he was autistic. And he just built an app which is now used more than 30,000 children in Turkey. It is called Otsimo, and it's perfect. And those youngsters, they have this perfect combination in critical thinking, in technical knowledge, in problem solving, but also being very creative and dare to do things in this beautiful world.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Actually, that reminds me, we're almost running out of time, but I wanted but this reminded me, another thing that I've heard again and again and experienced again and again, is that we as adults really should not underestimate the youth, how they think and how much experience they have online, but also not be afraid of it, because we can, even if we don't know their world, we can still, as you said, teach them to ask questions, teach them to be critical. They can figure out the data and AI literacy, the whatever you want to call it, kind of by themselves a lot, if they think critically. Is that kind of a summary of what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I think again, the critical thinking element covers all literacy topics, I think, that are out there. And that is what we have to help them with, the youth, to learn to be critical, and don't assume things, just because there is so much going on in the world.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Do you have any closing thoughts? I don't know how with the book will show up automatically on the registered user.
Okay, what I will do, I will open up the presentation now, and let's see, it's presenting, so people can enter their name and their email addresses. And the question there is, what is the most important thing that you've heard today? And what will you take with you into tomorrow and beyond, based on the conversation that Angelina and I just had about critical thinking? So you can open, I will unlock the submission, and you have 4 minutes time, and then I will pick a beautiful answer from it, and you can win ebook. let's hope.
Thank you. That's
just-
amazing. I love this. You have to teach me how to do that, Angelica.
Oh, that's very
That's
easy.
an
It's very
amazing
easy.
thing.
It's very
Yeah.
easy. But then I hope people
Amazing.
start
So thank you.
filling.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank
No-
you. Thank
no
you. It was
response
great to
yet.
see you.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I hope there's not too many technical issues on the other side. Bye.
Bye.